lying down. So if you just have your bolster or your blocks nearby, slide them along, come down onto your back, and begin in butterfly, soles of your feet together, knees open apart. And one hand on your lower belly and one hand on the upper belly, and then close your eyes. Let your elbows slide down to the floor. Relax your shoulders. Close your mouth and breathe in and out through your nose. And as you exhale, feel yourself relaxing. Relax away any of the stresses from your day. Even if the stresses didn't feel stressful, just doing, just being and moving and being on agendas can carry with it just trace elements of stress. So any little trace elements of stress, let them melt away. Start to feel you're connecting with this moment in time, your breath in your body. This evening's class is all a slow flow without getting up. So it's all on the ground. A floor flow. On your inhale, bring your knees together, and you can use your hands to guide your knees up together. And then bring your right knee towards your chest. Bring your right arm inside the right leg, catch hold of the big toe with your peace fingers, and you're taking happy baby with your right leg, and then letting the left knee drop back out to the side just as you had it a moment ago. And pull down on your right big toe with your right arm or with your right fingers. And if your elbow is in reaching distance, your elbow can press your knee wide as you pull your knee down toward the floor. Let your belly move where your hands were earlier. So there's a rise and fall in the lower and upper abdomen. Bring both knees to center and then return your right foot to the floor. Left leg into happy baby. So your arm inside the leg, but instead of holding the edge of the foot, which is more traditionally done in happy baby, catch the big toe with your peace fingers and then let your right knee drop out to a half butterfly position. At any time you need to use blocks or supports or straps, then please do. Try and keep your chin slightly in here so the back of the neck is long against the ground. Feel as you exhale, your hips have the opportunity to release a little resistance. Issue getting longer, more open. And then come back into center and take both feet down onto the floor. Separate your feet slightly, arms down by your side. And we're going to take a tilting action through the pelvis, back and forwards. So your pelvic tilts are just rolling the pelvis from tailbone towards the back of your belly button, down to tailbone, and then towards the back of your belly button. A couple more of those, loosening your pelvis in this forward, backward direction. And even though your knees are slightly apart, imagine your knees are tied towards each other. So they're not going to fall any wider. As you next tilt your pelvis toward the belly button, keep lifting your pelvis and roll your spine up into a bridge. At the top of the bridge, press into your arms. So your chest lifts a little higher. Walk your arms a little narrower so that your arms straighten down to point to your feet. Remember the imaginary strap around your knees, preventing them from falling apart and keeping you present on the inner edges of your feet. Another breath. Let your arms open a bit wider and roll your spine down with an attempt to stretch your spine as it lands back down. Then cross your right ankle onto your left knee and bring the left leg in towards you, holding the back of the thigh. Flex your feet so your toes point to the ceiling, and you can use your right elbow on the inside of the right thigh to press the thigh wide. Another breath. Your left foot goes down to the floor, pause. Use the pressure into your left foot to move your bottom a couple of inches off to the right. And then once your bottom's gone to the right, turn onto the outside edge of your left foot and drop the legs to the left. So the sole of your right foot will end up coming either on the floor or close to the floor. Rest your right hand on your right hip and see if your left fingers can reach down inside the left thigh and press your left thigh away from you. Doesn't matter if the foot slightly floats off the floor, but you're not trying to lift your foot off the floor. For me, the foot can stay there, but if it lifts a little, don't worry too much. So you're trying to keep your hip, your right hip, relaxing back and down a little, and the thigh bone pressing away. You should feel this somewhere down the outer right hip and maybe going around the back, slightly back of the hip, back of the thigh. You might even feel it all the way down the outer thigh to the knee. Then roll all the way onto your left side. So your legs kind of stay where they are. As you turn onto your left side, you'll end up with the left leg bent on the ground beneath you and your right leg on the floor in front of you. Straighten your right leg out. And then hug the right knee up to your chest. Then take your right arm inside your right leg and like happy baby, use your peace fingers to catch hold of your big toe. So now your knee is pointing out wider. And then see how much you can straighten your right leg up toward the ceiling. The left leg is bent on the ground, helping you balance, and your right leg is pushing up from the back of the hip all the way up to the sole of your foot. And you're continuing to breathe smoothly. And the shoulder relaxes away from your ear. Bend the right leg back down, push into your left hand so you come into a half sitting position or sitting on your left hip. And you're just going to let your right knee drop to the floor just a bit further past the left knee. So your legs are staggered off to the side. And then reach your right arm round and pop the hand on top of your left hand. So right hand on top of left hand. So you're twisting toward the back line of your mat. And as you push down through your straight arms into your hands, use that pressure to help turn your belly button toward the hands. Open your right arm back round and either hold onto your right shin with your right hand or reach a bit further like you're trying to touch the top end of your mat. Lift your left arm, come into a side bend. Bending down toward the right elbow as you side bend up and over. Feel the silky smoothness of your breath, breathing up the left side of your body. When your hand comes back down, turn round and roll your way down your back until you're back down with your spine on the floor, and you're going to cross your left ankle onto your right knee. And then bring the right leg in towards you. Hands are behind the thigh and your left elbow can press the left thigh wide. Notice if your head falls back, try snuggling the chin down a little without lifting the head, but just to try and find neutral in your neck. You can always put a blanket or cushion under your head if you need to. When your right foot goes down to the floor, pause. Shift your bottom slightly off to the left and lower your legs to the right so that you're on the outside edge of your right foot and right thigh. And then your left knee is pointing up at the moment. You're going to try and encourage that left knee to start pressing further away from you. I like to use my hands a little bit as well. So you could rest your left hand on the front of your left hip and your right fingers might be able to reach down and press inside that left thigh, encouraging it to press away. And again, you can feel this in all sorts of different places, but the likelihood is you'll feel it just on that outer left hip area, maybe going slightly around the back of the thigh for some. Try relaxing your left hip. So your left hip isn't trying to push toward the knee, but it's trying to fall back away from the knee. Okay, we don't need to do anything with the legs. Just roll onto your right side. And as you do, your legs will naturally turn into the position we want them in. The bottom leg stays bent on the floor. Now straighten out the top leg, your left leg, and pause. Just neutralizing your hip, your knee. Then bring your knee up towards your chest and give the leg a little squeeze in. Take your knee wider than your arm. Take your peace fingers to the big toe and take hold of the big toe. Try and keep your balance as you push the sole of the left foot up toward the ceiling, whatever amount you can. And then try and feel you're pushing all the way from the floor. So your right hip pushes down into the floor so that the left hip can lift higher. And the left leg pushes higher to the foot. Relax the left shoulder. Bend the top leg, your left leg, push into that half sitting position again. So the legs are just staggered off to the left. You're leaning into your right hand. And then bring the left hand round on top of your right hand so you're in a twist. Try and press through your arms. And even though you're leaning over to the side, try and straighten your spine in this lean. Twist from the belly through to the chest. I think you need the toilet. Tell Paul, I think it's at the front door. Then we're coming round onto hands and knees. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry, we're not. Bring your left arm wide again. And then you can hold the left hand on the left shin, or you can come up into a side bend. So right arm reaching away from the right hip. And then side bend over a little. And then bring your hands back down. Come round to hands and knees. And go into those little pelvic tilts again. So the tailbone points up, tailbone points down, tailbone points up, tailbone points down. And as you do that, let your whole spine flow through cat-cow. So the pelvis is kind of directing the rest of the spine through its movement. And the spine flows all the way to your head. 2 more. Let your breath find its place in the movement. And 1. A neutral spine, lower to your forearms. Come into Sphinx position. So your legs straighten out behind. Press up through the chest. Roll back through the shoulders. Wriggle nice and long right to the top of your head. Press lightly into your pubic bone so your belly firms slightly. And then lean slightly over to the left, press into your right hand so you're almost leaning onto your side, and then bend the right knee up so the right knee goes out wide, and lower down to lay on your tummy with your head on your hands. Relax your shoulders and feel your inner right thigh opening. Push back into your right hand so you can swing that right leg out straight, and then roll to the right side, push into your left hand, so then your left knee can prop out to the side. And then as you go down onto your tummy, the knee slides wider, the inner thigh opening. Again, softening your shoulders, your belly, your back. Press down into your left hand so your left leg can straighten back out. And then push all the way back to a child's pose, bottom to your heels, arms stretch out in front. So nice deep breath down to the tailbone end of your spine. And then start lifting your bottom, walk your arms further forwards, come into puppy dog. As your arms extend out in front of you, forehead down to the floor, keep the tailbone reaching upwards. Let your chest relax downwards. Press more firmly into your hands so that your head lifts and then walk your hands in. Step your right foot in place of your right hand. Lunge forwards with your hands on the thigh. Drop through the sacrum, the back of your pelvis, and lift through your chest. And then reach your arms up. If you've got a block, you can use a block, or you can take your fingers down to the floor, to the right side of your hip, and lean over with your left arm. So my arms are quite long, so I can quite easily get onto my fingertips without losing the position in my lower body. But for many of you, you take a block and put your hand on the block. Bring your arm back down so your torso comes up, and then hands inside the foot so you can bring that leg back. And then the left foot comes in place of the left hand, hands onto the left thigh as you come up, and lunge your weight forward so knee comes in line with ankle, sacrum drops, chest lifts. Left fingers drop down to the side, right arm up and over, and side bend. Try and do a side bend rather than a forward bend. So you're literally going over to the side, feeling the whole side and front on that right side lengthening out. Your right arm comes back by your side, come up, hands inside the foot, come back onto the knee, and then downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, lift the hips. Make your armpits nice and long and send your sit bones nice and high. And then we're coming in your own way, make your way around onto your bottom and orientate yourself in a way that's comfortable on your mat so you can see the screen easily. Starting off with reverse tabletop, feet hip distance, hands behind, squeeze into your elbows and lift your chest. See if you can tuck the tailbone under and lift into reverse tabletop, squeezing the back of your arms and imagining again that tie between your legs, preventing them from falling too wide apart. Lower your bottom down and keep your right hand behind you. Straighten your straighten your left leg and cross your right foot over. We're coming into a twist. So your right leg is crossed over and your left arm hugs the leg. As you twist, walk your right fingers round on the mat behind you and turn your gaze behind. Come back to center. Okay, so we're going to keep the right leg bent. Drop your knee out to the side. Right hand stays behind. Turn onto the inside edge of your left foot and then lift the left arm by your left ear. Press your hips forward slightly and look upwards. Try and press flat to the left foot so you get a little stretch down the outer leg, outer ankle. Then you come back down. As your bottom lands, turn back to center. And then we're doing the other side. So right leg straight, left leg bends. Step your foot across and wrap your arm around. Walk the left fingers round behind, gaze behind. And then you come back to center, the sole of the left foot inside your right thigh, drop into the inside edge of your right foot, sweep the left arm and press the hips forwards and turn your gaze up. Breathe into the feeling of your body, and that will keep you present. And then lower your bottom back down, come all the way around, straighten both legs out. Okay, let's come into our first yin pose. So if we can bring the soles of the feet together, and then you could take your bolster for your head to rest forwards on, or you could take it down a bit lower. If your hips are a little sensitive with this, you can put the bolster underneath the back of your legs with your knees out on the outer edges. You could equally use blocks for that as well. And let's take this forward bend towards the gap of the legs, making your way down slowly until you feel you hit like an amber light, I like to think of it as. You could go further if you wanted to really push through it, but actually it's just that little warning state of, okay, you're hitting some resistance here. Don't push to red, but just see if you can push past green, where you can easily move, and just hit that amber phase. A little bit of resistance for you to feel it. Sink deeper into the amber and keep moving your blocks or your bolster so that you're always in the redder end of amber. You want it to feel like it's a comfortable discomfort. Few more minutes. You can maybe think of the more yang phase of the practice, the movement, a bit like when you wash your hair, that's your shampoo. So we're cleansing. And then when we come to the yin phase, it's like you're putting on your conditioner. Your breath becomes the conditioner. Your breath becomes this smoothing, softening element of the practice. And just like we'd leave the conditioner on a bit longer to get more from it, we hold these poses a bit longer. Let time do its work. Remember, your breath is that conditioning element. So breathe as if your breath is breathing through the tissue of your body, the fibers, and creating softness, creating silkiness. And then press into your hands and make your way up until you're upright. Pause there a moment. If the knees need to come in, let them come in. Otherwise, they can just stay where they are. Just notice there's a sensation, a new sensation that goes with the coming out of a yin pose. It's different to what you felt when you were in there. Use your hands to guide the knees in And then we're going to take, you can either just swing round on your bottom, or you can take the bolster and lift it behind you. Because my bolster's there already, I'm just going to swing round so that your bolster's the length of your mat. You can use a couple of cushions or a couple of blocks if not, and have a decent distance between your bottom and the bolster, because I'd like it to start more mid-back rather than lower back. And if your head falls back easily, make sure the near side of your bolster is flatter and the far side of your bolster is flatter. If not, you can put a block on the head end of your bolster. Okay, so when you go down, it creates an upward incline. Your head becomes the highest. Okay, and let's just have the legs straight. We're going to do a little breathing practice here, so legs can be relaxed. Your shoulders fall wide off the edges of your bolster and palms turn up. And remember where your hands were resting at the beginning, on your lower belly and your upper belly. So let's breathe to the lower belly and then continue breathing into the upper belly and then continue breathing in to the chest. Then exhale all those spaces all at once, relaxing. So you're breathing in from the lower belly to the upper belly and then up to your chest behind your breastbone. Exhaling and just feeling it all relax, and keep doing that at your own pace. So you feel you're getting full expansion in your torso. And this becomes the central point that ripples the breath out through your body. You're breathing through your nose, so your mouth is sealed from the breath. And you're relaxed behind your eyes. And when we bring focus to the breath like this, it becomes a pranayama practice. Pranayama is breathing practice, which controls the flow of your prana, your life force energy. And we can think of this like the finishing products on your hair that might help to just give it that final finesse. And that's what the pranayama practices do to our physical and mental vitality. Let's see if we can add on to that a little hold of the breath. So you next breathe in those 3 parts in one smooth breath, and then hold the breath for just a comfortable length of time. Might be a few seconds, a few counts, and then you exhale without any strain. If you feel your exhale gushes out or makes a loud sound, maybe you just need to smooth the edges a little or not hold as long. So you're inhaling smooth and deep, and you hold your breath a few counts. And you comfortably let the breath flow back out again without any strain. Just find your own rhythm, your own flow. When you hold your breath, feel like you are amplifying the presence of that life force energy into every cell, into your auric field, the space of energy around you. Exhaling it, keeping that lift in your vitality, but experiencing it in a calm way. One last thing you can add on to this, just for the final few moments. When you hold your breath, squeeze up your pelvic floor muscles just lightly so that it feels like you are sealing the bottom of your pelvis by engaging the pelvic floor muscles. It's like you're encouraging the energy to lift up rather than to fall down. So when you inhale, you're applying a pelvic floor squeeze, that's back passage, sex organs, lightly engaging the belly. And then you exhale and you relax it. Do 2 more rounds. Complete this next one as your last round. No strain. When you've completed the full exhale, breathe normally. Press into your elbows, lift your head and push your way up to sitting. And then we'll finish with a forward bend over the legs. So stay upright to begin with. And because my bolster's that side, I'm just going to turn around. It's easier than lifting the bolster, but you can lift it round if you're going to use it. And again, you can have the bolster so it's upright and you can rest your head there. That might be a nice starting position, especially if you're a bit tighter in your back or the back of the legs. And then again, you go down until you feel you just hit that amber light. When you hit your amber light, pause there. And it might be that it goes to green quite quickly and you can go in a little bit deeper, again, diving into that amber space. If we push ourselves into the red and we push past what is manageable, then the likelihood is somewhere in your body will tighten and resist. And you won't be able to hold it as long and you'll lose that nice yin quality, which is a receptivity in the posture. So feel by staying in the amber zone, maybe the deeper end of the amber zone, it gives you that ability to stay and the ability to maybe go in deeper. We get much more from it in the opening of the body. And then use your arms, press your way up. Now, as you move the bolster, pop it underneath the back of your knees. Roll down onto your back. If you need anything extra warm or any extra support anywhere else in your body, then grab that so you feel you have maximum support and comfort and ability to relax. And this relaxation will take on a new feeling. Every time we practice, whatever we're practicing, every time we do it, every time we make an action, there is a slight change in how we do it. There's a slight shift in us, but there's nothing we do that's completely the same. So always be in the experience of how it is this time. What do you feel this time? What is your experience? Every moment is new. Feel into the magic of that. Wriggle your fingers and your toes. And pop your feet onto the bolster if you're using one. And let that settle your lower back to the floor. Push the bolster away with your feet, just enough that it's not in your way as you turn onto your right side. And push your way up to sitting. Drawing the palms together, and power your head towards your prayer. And maybe set a prayer or an intention for the rest of your evening. Keeping your prayer in a short-term space. What would you like to see or feel? What would you like to give in the rest of the day you have ahead of you? Breathe that into who you are and experience it through your thoughts, through your words, through your actions. Bring what you practice into the reality of your life. The good in me bows to the good in you. Namaste. Thank you all.